Nokia have announced the 5800's little sister with bling. The 5530 Express Music also runs S65th edition and is significantly smaller. It's a lot cheaper in price too, starting at €200, SIM-free, somewhat amazingly, but you'll probably want to steer clear of it because there's no 3G and no GPS. One for your mum or sister, perhaps? Also launched was the Nokia E72, the follow-up to the hugely popular E71, with upgraded camera to 5 megapixels, a new optical Navi key, and a 3.5mm audio jack. There's also a new version of S60. The E72 has a 3rd edition feature pack too, so it'll be better at messaging and better at multimedia. Samsung have been spitting out new hardware too. Highlights include the Jet, a mass-market top-end feature phone with AMOLED screen, 5 megapixel camera, 800 MHz processor, and an S60 iPhone Android-alike WebKit browser. Also the Omnia 2, aka the i8000, which runs Windows Mobile 6.1 Professional with the TouchWiz 2 UI added on top. The Omnia 2 has a 3.7-inch AMOLED display with WVGA resolution. Look for a review of this in an upcoming phone show. No, this isn't the Nokia N97 again, it just looks a lot like it when opened up like this. This is the HTC Touch Pro 2, and I think I can safely say the best Windows mobile phone in the world. Now, not that this is saying much considering some of the half-hearted devices to have appeared over the last couple of years in this field, but the HTC Touch Pro 2 bucks the trend by being at least comparable to the competition, and dare I say it, a little sexy too. Windows Mobile fans will welcome the Touch Pro 2 as the best thing since sliced bread, and why not? This might even sway some E-Series loving S60 fans, and it's definitely a step upwards in terms of hardware from the T-Mobile G1. At 180 grams, the Touch Pro 2 is one of the heaviest smartphones I've reviewed, but the sleek design with curved corners everywhere you look helps to keep the overall profile down in the hand. There's a great 3.5-inch resistive touchscreen which looks glorious in all but bright sunlight, but the headline feature is this superb slide-out QWERTY keyboard, one of the very best I've used since the early Nokia communicators. There are 5 rows of keys nicely spaced out across the width of the keyboard. There's not much key travel here, but it's still nicely responsive, and I think even 40 words a minute might be possible with practice. Incidentally, even when closed, text input is still good, as the Touch Pro 2 has iPhone quality writing aids for its pop-up keyboard. The screen tilts up optionally, just as it did on an earlier HTC design, the Titan 2. The mechanism is crude compared to that on the ingenious Nokia N97, but it's arguably as strong. You've got to be a little worried about the screen ribbon cable though. I've lost too many palm tops in years past, not to worry. On the back of the device is a very loud speaker as one of the central components in HTC's Straight Talk system. You start a call, then flip the device over and you've instantly got an office quality speakerphone complete with very sensitive microphone and a handy mute button. Very nice. So far so good then, but the Touch Pro 2 blows it a bit by sticking to HTC's silly extended USB system for plugging in headphones. Yes, it was a good trial idea 4 years ago, HTC, but be honest, everyone hates it. A standard 3.5mm jack is really needed on everything these days. There's a stylus, of course. This is Windows Mobile, and interestingly, the docked stylus forms part of the interlock for keeping the battery cover on. I've not seen that before. Also novel is a touch-sensitive zoom bar below the screen, although this is really only of use in Opera Mobile and in the TouchFlow photo browser. It would have been cool to see this used more in the general interface. On the back is an average 3 megapixel camera with no flash, but then photography isn't what the Touch Pro 2 is all about. The promos for it centre very much on its communications functions, especially the Straight Talk feature. Now, in the last phone show I had a hardware review of the Nokia N97, and I promised a head-to-head between that and this, the Touch Pro 2. So, briefly, the N97 is 150 grams, about 20% lighter, and also very slightly smaller, a win for the N97. The N97 has an almost identical screen to the Touch Pro 2. Honours even here, I think. The N97 is a more fiddly keyboard due to Nokia's insistence on putting in a D-pad. A big one here for the Touch Pro 2, though I do think the N97 screen hinge deserves an award. The N97 is a 5 megapixel stills camera with Carl Zeiss lens, dual LED flash, a huge win for the N97 over the camera in this. Both phones have VGA video capture, although that on the N97 is of much higher quality audio and picture, provided you don't get too close to your subject. The Touch Pro 2 has initial focus and video recording, which is very good, but it's not quite enough to stop the N97 winning here. Both the N97 and Touch Pro 2 have big 1500 mAh batteries, honours even again. So far then, overall a win for the N97, unless you want to input a lot of text. But what about software? The N97, if you recall, runs the touch-enabled version of the S60 interface on top of Symbian OS. I've been a Symbian fan for many years, you may have noticed, and not just because they sponsor this show from time to time. The OS itself, Symbian OS, is the most advanced mobile operating system on the planet, in my opinion. Adding all the UI layers and the still immature S60 5th edition dampens my enthusiasm slightly, but I still found the N97 fairly intuitive and fairly fast. And most importantly, consistent within itself. There are no unpleasant surprises. But now we come to the Touch Pro 2. HTC have been steadily increasing the scope of their TouchFlow 3D system the last few years, and this is its most extensive incarnation yet, with flashy animated views of your messages, stocks, weather, calendar, and so on. If TouchFlow 3D was the main interface with just a core operating system underneath, then it will be up here in terms of usability with things like the iPhone and Palm Pre. But despite the increased scope, HTC have really only covered about half the phone's functions. Anything simple like creating a new calendar appointment drops you right back slap bang into a standard Windows Mobile dialog. Yes, HTC have bothered to redo all the menus in the Windows Mobile applications, but to be honest, they'll have to rewrite absolutely everything before I am happy. You see, there was something to be said for the old Windows Mobile as it was. It was ugly, clumsy in places, but it was what it was. No pretensions, and it was consistent. TouchFlow 3D is a pretty and slick application launcher and replacement. But like all such utilities, it drops you back to the underlying OS and applications at some point, utterly ruining the effect. Compare it to the Apple iPhone UI, to the Palm Pre's WebOS, to Android, or more pertinently, to S60 and Symbian OS on the N97 here. The N97's Symbian OS handles everything in the background as an OS should do, while S60 handles everything in terms of user interface, as it should do. There are no ugly jerks between a 2009 UI and one from 2001, as here on the Touch Pro 2. In my considered opinion then, a definite win for the Nokia N97 of the two devices. It wins in hardware and it wins in software. However, anyone with an existing investment in Windows Mobile applications, perhaps specific to their industry or job, will find the HTC Touch Pro 2 the most powerful compatible device to date, and it'll sell well into these markets. Just don't expect it to be in your high street stores, and don't expect it to be challenging the N97 in the sales tables. I'm here with Hannah Safman from Proporta, who's going to give us a whistle-stop tour of the facility. Go, Hannah.
Okay, we'll head off into the office then. First of all, this is Lynette, our marketing manager.
Hi there.
Hello.
Wow. This is the sales team. Diego, say hi.
Wow.
Diego from
Diego.
the resale
Hi there.
department. That's David.
Very busy.
This is Mike, our other MD,
Very
on the phone.
No Mike for years.
Busy. This is our design room. David.
Hello.
David is our IT assistant.
Hi there.
And this is Marta. Say hi, Marta. She looks after the French and Italian market. And Hiran, he looks after web, most of the web, so SEO, marketing, that kind of thing. This is Debbie, who's our PA and office, Michael Guy's PA and office manager. And Sam, who's our IT manager, is actually on the phone.
They're all very busy, I'm impressed.
We'll come through into the warehouse. This is where all our products are shipped from. And in this department we've got Rich and Gary. Say hello, Rich and Gary.
Hi there, hi guys.
Alright.
This is where it all happens.
Yeah.
This is where
There are products and products and
where everything is
products.
shipped through.
So Hannah, I gather Proporta have a signature case that you do for all devices.
Yes, we do. Our alu leather case is our signature case. Here it is shown as an example on a Palm Trio Pro. It's a flip type case, and the main benefits is that it's got this aluminium lining which completely protects the screen from crushing and impact shocks, especially when it's a touchscreen device. Also, you can use the case in situ, which is just perfect, so you never need to have to take the device out of the case to use it.
Okay, you've got some more example devices there?
Yeah, sure. It's also on a Samsung i900.
Okay, cool.
To
And,
take it in and out, you just sort of slide up and down.
and on a Symbian device?
And one of your favourites, Steve, the Nokia 5800.
That's cool. Yep.
Closes up and fits perfectly.
There you go. And they can all be applied to a belt clip or other fixing
Yes,
if
they
you need
can. There's
to.
a belt glue attachment there, and they have all the necessary cutouts as well for the videos and cameras and that. For slimline protection, we also do a silicone case, which is very neat and really, really slim. Just fits into your pocket like that. And this works excellently well with our screen protectors, so for all over round protection to protect against damage and screen scratches.
Okay.
And this is our Maya case, which is suitable for the iPod Touch, iPhone 3G, and all, many cases that fit, devices that fit. And it just slips in simply like that. If you put it in that way around, you can use the device whilst it's in the case, so you can listen to your music whilst it's sat in the case. These are our magnetic cable tidies. They're a very, very quick fix way to sort out your tangled mess of headphones. You just take your headphones in your fingers and wind them around like so. And then you take the cable tidy, slip it inside the middle, and let it attach with the magnet. Our main players, device-wise, would be iPhone, Nokia, HTC and BlackBerry. And then we also do a 100% waterproof case called the Beach Boy, which is a really popular one. And our gadget bag, which has been around for a while, which is really, really, really popular for people to take on their travels.
The ultimate geek accessory.
Exactly.
I first met Guy when he was running Palm Tech and producing hard cases for Scions. How many years ago was that, Guy?
I think that was 13 years ago, was it?
That's a long time. And you became Proporta at some point?
It became Proporta, yeah, because the name Palm Tech wasn't particularly good because it had the word palm in.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a little disagreement with an American company and all settled very amicably.
Okay.
That's why we changed the name.
How's business in this credit crunch era?
Business is more difficult than it was. It's going well, but we work harder for what we get. Some things have slowed down, a lot's on pause. A lot of people like our stuff but are not making decisions at the moment. We've got some good stuff going on at the moment and in the pipeline. I don't want to tempt fate by telling you about any future developments.